Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to your class for practice this morning. I've changed a little bit where we are. Hopefully the lighting will be better and the sound will be good. So just finding a moment, I muted everyone's audio. And if you come in, since I just did that, please mute so that there aren't distractions. Every time something ruffles or moves, we all can hear it. So everyone should mute their video. I did everyone's audio, but if you could just remind yourself tomorrow always to mute. So just finding a nice, comfortable seat for a moment. Any place. You can be cross-legged, you could be sitting on your legs, you can be sitting in a chair, any kind of comfortable seat. And relax into the base of the body. Your bottom, your legs, your feet. Softening the body. Finding your breath. Those of you who are coming in, please mute your audio. We can hear it now. Please. So as you find a place of stillness in your physical body, look for a little stillness in your mind. Bring your awareness into the breath, finding it in your belly or your chest. And then letting the breath drop down into the belly for a moment. Just feeling the belly expand with an inhale. Contract toward the spine with an exhale. Taking a few abdominal breaths. Keeping it low in the belly. Relaxing your shoulders, your jaw. Your belly can be soft right now. And then bringing the hands into the heart space, Anjali Mudra. Just letting the head bow for a moment, taking your chin toward your chest, relaxing the back of the neck, letting gravity work. And finding an intention for your practice this morning. What do you need? What do you want? Why are you practicing today? Your sankalpa, your intention. And repeat it to yourself 3 times. And then very gently begin to raise your head a little bit, not to constrict the throat. I'll chant one Om. If you'd like to join in with me at home, please do that. Representing the beginning, the end, and everything in between. Exhaling the breath out and inhaling to chant. Taking a few deep breaths. And then letting your hands just fall to your legs for a moment. Beginning with some circles of the trunk around the hips, just opening up the hip joints by circling around the femurs. Other direction. Back in the other direction. And try to take it slowly now. Feel each time you go to the tailbone, sit bone, pubic bone, tailbone in that direction. Sit bones. One may rise up other direction. One may come down completely. Just keeping it nice and soft. Good. And then nice tall spine. And let's go ahead and unleash our legs for a moment. Just unleash them and wiggle them out just for a moment. Just wiggle out your legs. And then just resting your left leg for a moment. I'll mirror you, taking your right leg in, just taking it back and forth. And then find that place in the middle where you can take it up and down. And then a few small circles, like you were making quarters with your knees in the other direction. Good. And then just hold on with your left fingers to your big toe. Just stretch the leg out as much as is comfortable for you. You might straighten the leg, you might not. And then take your heel down toward your hip, so keeping the bones lined up right in front of each other. So lift and lower, lift and lower, and lift and lower. Good. And then resting your right leg down on the floor, bringing in your left leg. And so first back and forth, and then into the medium place where you can take it up and down. Good. And then let's make tiny little circles, like a quarter with your knee. This is my bad hip, it doesn't have much movement. Good, and then holding on to the big toe and stretching that leg out wherever it feels comfortable. And then heel to femur, somewhere along the femur, and lift and lower, and lift and lower, and lift and lower. Good. And then stretch that leg out and just wiggle both legs. Now bring the soles of the feet together into Vajrasana. Nice tall spine, and sit up really tall, so you may hold your shins or your feet wherever you can stay nice and tall. Good, just breathe. And then a tiny bit of balance at the very beginning. So just grab your big toes and see if you can balance for a moment on your sit bones. Some of you may decide to extend your legs out all the way. Some of you may just want to raise them a tiny bit. Wherever you want to take this pose, your legs can extend all the way out to the side or in front. Breathing. And then let's try to just keep the balance and let go for a moment. Can you keep the balance? And then place your feet down on the floor. Good. We're going to do cat pose for a moment. We're going to do it seated. So you're going to hold on to your shins. And you're going to curl your spine, take your chin into the chest, get round. And then you're going to lift up, pull up, open your heart and chest, and look up. So exhaling, belly to spine, curl in. Inhaling, arch and lift. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. One more. Exhaling. Good. And then come back into neutral for a moment, sitting up with a nice tall spine. So let's start our table with reverse table today. So just putting your hands behind you, and you can decide, do you like your fingers toward you? Do you feel more supported? Do you take them back? What feels best for you and your fingers? For me, it's facing forward. And then your feet are out far enough that when you go up into reverse table, you'll have your knees over your ankles. So we're going to exhale and push up. And then take your gaze down to your belly button. This is often a Nabi Darshan, gazing at the Nabi, at the belly button. Breathing. And on your next exhale, lower the hips somewhere back close to the hands. Good. And then sitting up nice and tall, let's do some wrist circles. And the other direction. And then a little work on the shoulders. So just arms out to the side and push away an imaginary wall. Push as far as you can away. And then curl the fingers in. Just curl them in. And then open and press away. Good. Curl them in, little tiny, tiny little feet. And then press away. And then one more time. Curl in. And then release them. Just let them go for a moment. Shake out the wrist a bit. And then bend the elbows and bring the hands into goddess. Good. So open to even and lift. Exhale, belly to spine. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the belly engaged, breathing into the chest. Exhale. In. And then begin to open the arms as broadly as you can, just getting them open. And now take the palms down as far as you can. And then take them back and interlace the fingers and squeeze the knuckles toward the floor. Wiggle your neck, your head. Pushing the knuckles toward the floor as your head reaches up. And then very gently take your gaze and your face out to about 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. Bring your chin into neutral. And now take your gaze over to 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Just the gaze. And then bring everything back to neutral. Relax your shoulders for a moment. Soften your arms, your hands. And then sweep the arms out to the side again. Goddess arms. Bend at the elbow. Let them be soft. And then reach back around, interlace the uncomfortable interlace, the one you didn't do at the beginning. Open your heart, your chest. Squeeze the shoulders, shoulder blades, and knuckles toward the floor. Good. And then lift a little bit up, looking a little bit up for your 3 o'clock. And then drop the chin into neutral and take your gaze, only your gaze, over to 9 o'clock. Breathe. Working on your vagus nerve. And then bring your gaze back into neutral, face neutral, release your arms. Good, and then let's come into all fours, all fours. So making sure that our wrists are actually underneath our shoulder, not ahead and not behind. So just taking a moment to situate yourself really nicely. Make sure that your knees are underneath your hip sockets. And once you get fully situated here, begin to curl into your full arched spine. Breathing, breathing. Pushing the floor away, keeping your shoulders strong. Tops of the feet into the floor, pressing into the floor. Toenails pressing into the floor. Notice the breath. With the compression on the front side of the body, bringing the breath into the back ribs.
Feel the low ribs spread in the back. And then slowly, gently, hold the breath in or out and come into neutral. Good. Release the breath wherever you held it. Normal breathing. And then slowly, you're going to curl in the opposite direction. Press the floor away. Shoulders stay strong. Do not release your shoulder blades. Curl the toes under. Press the toes into the mat. Press the hands and fingers, especially, into the mat. Take your gaze up between your eyebrows. Press the floor away and breathe. And then hold the breath wherever it is. Come back into neutral. Good. Stepping your right leg back for a moment. Right leg back. Left leg to join it. Right knee down. Left knee down. Left foot back. Right foot to join it. Right knee down. Left knee down. One more time. Right leg back. Press through the heel. Left leg to join it. Lift the belly. Right knee down. Left knee down. Other side. Left leg back. Right leg to join it. Left knee down. And right knee down. Good. Lift the belly. Begin to curl the hips back toward the heels. And press away into the floor. Get really long in the spine. Good. And then coming up, back into neutral. Replace. Make sure everything is evenly situated. Hands, wrists, shoulders. So as we do sunbird, Surya Churya, we're going to do it slowly. We're going to take back one leg and the opposite arm is going to reach out. Good. And then when we come in on our exhale, we're going to pull into the midline, but we aren't going to touch. We're going to go beyond and out. So exhale in, inhale out. Exhale in, inhale out. Exhale in, inhale out. Exhale in, inhale out. Good. Release the hand, release the leg. Take one cat pose, full cat pose. Exhaling. And inhale. And find neutral. Good. I'm going to come this way this time. Great. So as you're ready, this time you're going to step back your left foot, right foot. I'm going to go this way because I did that the same as you. Right foot back, left arm forward. And this would be the ideal way for your arm. But as you can see, I have a pot behind me and I can't go there. So don't press against anything unless you want to, but this way, okay? So as you're ready, right leg extends, left arm extends, and then exhale, curl, inhale, expand. Exhale, curl, inhale, expand. Exhale, curl, inhale, expand. Exhale, curl, inhale, expand. And then release the hand, release the knee. Really press and arch the spine. Take 3 breaths right there. Breathe into the back body, back low ribs. On your 4th breath, move into an inhale and arching in the opposite direction. Good. And then curl the toes under and a little bit of a toe balance. So either here or here, whichever way you like. You're pressing into the ball of the foot. You can do it with your knees down. You can do it with your knees up. Just a little bit of balancing on your toes. Breathing. Notice your breath. Belly is firmly engaged in our asana practice, unless we're taking moments of respite. So keep the belly engaged. Breathing is in the chest, low chest. Now let's see if we can keep our heels up as we begin to stand. And come all the way up, and then walk all over your mat for a moment, picking some cherries, a little stimulation to the adrenal glands that are sitting on your kidneys. In times of stress, our adrenals, our thyroid, these have to really come online and help the rest of the hormones. You're just stimulating right here where your kidneys are. And then come to standing, Tadasana. Now relax. Belly can take the breath. Pelvic floor can relax. Shoulders can relax. Jaw can relax. Smooth out the breath. Good, and then bringing the hands into the heart. So just a little tiny vinyasa, a little tiny choreographed movement for us, okay? So we're gonna just be in Namaskar. We're gonna inhale, arms come up, we look up. We're gonna exhale, fold forward, bend the knees as much as you need to. Gaze between your legs. You're gonna inhale up into chair, and then exhale all the way up. Take an inhale and exhale. Close the circuit, okay? Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, up. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Again, find Tadasana. Relax what you're not using. Your jaw. Breathing, opening out. So we're going to move into our standing poses. Babaji always said that standing poses can correct any postural abnormalities. So I think for me, they've helped me to reduce my slew-footedness, my bow-leggedness, all of the things that I used to do with my legs, to try to have them look normal. Now they look relatively normal after 20 years of asana. So just working with these standing poses, really evening out the hips. So just spread the legs, draw the belly in, keep it engaged throughout this entire series. Belly's engaged, breath is in the chest, not here, here, in the mid-chest region, okay? Wiggle your hips. Good, and come forward until you find your spine relatively parallel to the floor. Press into the tops of the legs. Good, just looking at the floor for a moment. Great. And then slowly begin to walk your torso over to the right. Come back to neutral. Walk your torso over to the left. Back to neutral. Torso to the right. Neutral. Torso to the left. And neutral. Good. And then press up, coming up nice and tall. Good. Now we're going to externally rotate the left leg, whole leg. Good. So that took your hips from front over to the side a little bit, as they should, but everything stays nice and broad and open. Good. Take a nice inhale, lift up, really engage the pelvic floor, engage the belly, bend the knee, keep the spine upright, don't lean, keep the spine upright, and make sure you can see your big toe on the inside of your knee. Good. And then inhale and open the arms fully. As we take this warrior two, we'll gaze out over our middle finger. Breathe. On our next inhale, we're going to straighten the leg, come up, look front and center. And as we exhale, we're going back down. 3 times. Inhale, come up, gaze front and center. Exhale, gaze, and go back down. Inhale, come up, gaze front and center. Exhale, go down. Stay. Release your back arm. Flip the palm of your front arm and reach back into Joan of Arc. But don't drop any weight into that back arm. Just keep the back arm strumming hard. Come back into warrior two. Straighten the leg and come out of rotation. All the way back front and center. Hands into the heart. Good. And just release the arms. Now we're going to externally rotate the right leg. You may need to kick your left heel out a little bit, keeping the whole of the pelvic basket open. When we bend our knee, we want to make sure we can see our big toe on the inside of the knee. Spine is upright, never leaning forward. Spine is up. Raise the arms up shoulder height. Take a nice inhale. And exhale. Gaze out over your middle finger. And breathe 3 long, beautiful breaths. And on our next inhale, we're going to come back to straighten the leg, arms overhead, gaze front and center. We exhale, we're going down, gaze over. Inhale up, gaze front and center. Exhale. Inhale up, gaze front and center, and exhale. Breathe. And again, our back arm lowers, lift the palm on the front arm, and come up. But keep the left arm busy so that you're not leaning your weight into the back side. Come back into warrior two. And straighten the leg, arms up overhead. Undo both feet. So toes and heels are headed forward completely. Take our hands to the top of the thighs. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, hinge right there where you had your hands. At the hip. Sit bones are headed now back to the wall behind you. And when you get to wherever you're comfortable, let your upper back round. Pachiwota. Westward stretch. Breathing. And then on an inhale, come about halfway up, press the hands into the thighs, and exhale the rest of the way up.
Good. So for just a moment to rest our adductors, come back into Tadasana. Close your eyes, relax into the bones, and take 5 nourishing breaths. And on our next inhale, letting the eyes flutter open. And then taking again our wide stance. This time we'll start by externally rotating the right leg, nice and tall. Just notice how your hips are still open and now headed a little bit over to the side compared to where they were without the rotation. Good. Bend the knee, pass through our warrior 2. So just pass through your warrior 2. And then we are going to take the torso to the side. Reach, 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 but keep your heart and chest open toward me. Reach, reach, reach. And then taking your right hand onto your right thigh, elbow headed back behind you. Lift the left hand toward the ceiling, palm facing me. Take the weight off the hand for just a moment, off the right hand, and then straighten the leg and triangle. Good. Everything is open. Bottom side is as long as the top side. Come back into warrior 2. Arms overhead, gazing front and center, unrotate the leg. Hands into the heart. And externally rotating the left leg. Again, hips nice and open, groin open. We'll take our warrior 2. Good. And then on purpose, reach, 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 reach. Keep a long line of energy. Don't collapse. Bottom is as tall as the top side. Taking your left hand behind you, elbow behind you. Good. Letting your right arm come up. Reach broad, heart and chest toward me. And then raise the left hand, straighten the left leg, and be in this triangle. Your gaze can be forward or down or up. Bottom and top side equally long. One more. And then back into warrior 2. Good. Arms coming up overhead, straighten the leg, coming back front and center. Bringing the hands into the heart. And then taking our elbows behind us, holding on to our elbows. If you like to do reverse namaskar on your back, that's also perfect here. We're going to come over to a nice flat back, which just means you have all of your natural, beautiful curves, but your tailbone, your upper shoulder, and the back of your head are aligned. And then soften and release. Release your elbows, let them walk out towards your hips, hold on to your hips for a second, and then walk your hands down your legs nice and slowly. Just see where they go, no big deal, wherever they go is perfect. Begin to gaze forward a little bit, and then relax. 2 more times. Gaze forward a little bit, engage, spine begins to lift, and exhale, relax. Inhale, gaze forward a little bit, and exhale all the way up. Good, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. And again, finding our Tadasana, relaxing, pelvic floor, belly, shoulders, jaw. 5 breaths. Even out the breath, soften body, mind. Good, and then inhale and open your eyes. So we're going to do one more balancing pose. It's going to be on both legs. So just very, very gently soften your knees as if you were going to do some Tai Chi for a moment. Just nice soft knees. You can put your hands on your waist. Good. And then put all of your emphasis right now into your right leg. Begin to peel off the left heel. And then lift it and cross it over and plant it. Okay, just plant that leg. Good. And then sweeping out your left arm to the side. Open the shoulder, open everything into external rotation, arm and hand supinate. And then reach over, reaching as far as you can over to the right. And then taking your right hand and pressing away as far as you can to the left. Join index finger and thumb in Gyan Mudra. Take your gaze down to the big toe of your left foot. Make sure the palm of your left hand is toward the ceiling and the back of your left hand is toward the floor. And then slowly and gently begin to walk your gaze out to the side, all the way out to the right side, until you come up to the back of your left hand. Keep leaning. Breathing. And on our next inhale breath, we're going to release and get really, really big. Exhale the breath, let it go, walk through. All of your postural muscles just got a good workout. Good. Other side. Nice and soft. Good. Peel off the heel. Great. And then slowly lift, put it over, place it. Hips are low. Good. Let's take both arms out to the side for a moment. And with your left arm, push away. Index and thumb touching. With the other arm, reach it over, gaze down at your toes. And then flip the palm and index finger, thumb touching. Then walking your gaze out to the left side and slowly, ever so slowly, up to the back of your right palm. Breathe. And on our next inhale, we're going to get really big. Walk it out. And then we're going to slowly make our way to the floor. So nice, gentle, slow, coming on down. You can have as open a squat as you like. You can grab a block, put it underneath you, just squatting for a moment, bringing our Apanavayu into its abode. Resting. Close your eyes, go within, thinking, softening, surrendering. And then very slowly, we're going to make our way to the floor. Find your sit bones down on the floor, stretching your legs out into Dandasana, taking the arms overhead, and just reach into this beautiful L. Nothing else, just reach into an L. Look up between your hands, stretch your feet out, heels are firmly on the floor. And then let the hands come down to the sides of the body. Good. Relax the legs out to the side and then bring the soles of the feet to touch to Vajrasana. See if this Vajrasana is more comfortable than the first Vajrasana of the morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. And then again, balancing on your sit pose and just seeing if this balance is a little easier. Does it feel a little easier now to just extend the legs in any way? Have you worked in something that's actually showing up in your body, in your mind? Bringing the heels back to touch, squeezing the knees in toward each other. And then we're going to go to the floor. And as we soften into the floor, our last pose is an inversion. And you can do bridge pose. This is my favorite, however. I'm taking my block and putting it underneath my sacrum. Feel free to use this time to do headstand, shoulder stand, any inversion, mountain pose. If you're on your menstrual cycle, please no inversion. Just rest, go immediately into Shavasana. So just bringing the knees in and lifting the legs up toward the ceiling. So this is Viparita Karani Mudra, relaxing to body and mind, letting the body purify the lymphatic system more easily, with gravity now helping it, and letting all of the pranavayus go back to their abode. Relaxing into your inversion.
Then slowly beginning to release your inversion. If you're with me, just dropping your knees in towards your chest for a moment. Then extending one leg and then the other, lifting off the block, bringing your bottom down to the floor. And then finding your Shavasana. Don't feel trapped by your mat. Arms need to be below the heart. Move and wiggle and get yourself into the softest position imaginable. Just letting go. Babaji says this is the hardest pose to do. We have to surrender to it. Relaxing completely into the breath. Staying where you are in Shavasana. Our pranayama today we will do in Shavasana, allowing gravity to be our friend and help us. So just noticing the breath in the belly, wherever you are. We're going to hold and control the breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Follow to your natural breathing pattern. Let it go. And we're going to extend
the exhale a little bit more than the inhale. Just finding your breath. Try to get it into the belly as much as you can. Just letting gravity be your friend. As you exhale, breath moves out, the belly moves in, bringing it into the belly. So we're going to go again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Pull it in. Inhale. Exhale. Slow it down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Fall back into your natural breathing. Relax. Body, breath, mind. Beginning to roll the eyes in the sockets, one direction, then the other. Letting your tongue roam the mouth, the back of the teeth, the front of the teeth, roof of the mouth. Then opening the mouth wide as if you were yawning. Feel the ears snap, crackle, and pop. Wriggling your nose. Bringing some movement into the fingers and the toes. And then bend your knees, put your feet firmly on the floor, shift your hips up to one side, and then rock over to the other side, curling up in embryo pose. Staying there for a few delicious breaths. Soft. Feel the breath move into the back body as you curl in the C curl. And then slowly and gently, getting ready to push the floor away. Begin to spiral up, nice and softly. Welcome to village life. That means someone is knocking at the door of the dog's barking. So finding a comfortable seat, any seat. You might grab a chair. We're going to be sitting in a quiet meditation for 5 minutes. And I'm going to walk through the mudras with you for the 5 elements as we do that. So we'll spend 1 minute on each element and then on. So soft body. We'll start with ether, touching the tip of the thumb to the tip of the middle finger. Space, ether element, all around us, inside of our body, the spaces and the organs, the spaces around us. Concentrate on space. Air, prana, taking the index finger Tuck the tip of it into the base of the thumb and wrap the thumb around the index. Prana, air. Inside of you, movement, digesting, eliminating, blood circulation. Outside, the trees moving, the wind, air. Inside and out. Fire. The thumb to the tip of the ring finger. Tip of the ring finger to the tip of the thumb. Fire. Metabolic energy, catabolic, anabolic, transformation inside the body. Outside, the sun, the heat of the core of the earth. Fire, inside and out. Water, bringing the tip of the thumb to the tip of the pinky finger. Water, liquidity in the body, the blood, the lymph, the saliva, the interstitial fluids. Outside, the rain, the lakes, the oceans, waters. Water principle, inside the body and outside. Earth. Tucking in the thumb to the ring finger. Earth. Solidity, your bones and cartilage and muscles in the body. The organs. Outside, rocks, earth, minerals. The principle of stability, inside and out. Om. Moving into Om. Beginning, the end, everything in between. Letting your fingers relax into receiving. Bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Any merit we might have earned this morning, we lift it up to the welfare of all those people right now who really need extra strength, extra energy. remembering your sankalpa, your intention. Bring it into your heart space. Repeat it 3 times. And then symbolically, let your intention and let our offering slip out of our heart into the palms of our hands. Lift it up and just let it go off into just letting go. Hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much. I wanted to spend just a little moment of this time, if we could, to just give some tips of what Ayurvedically you could be doing right now to help yourself. I'm going to see if I can find the chat that just appeared. No.
Look, it's Mama. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So Ayurvedically, what we might be doing right now for all of us is warming ourselves completely, keeping ourselves really nice and warm, drinking hot water throughout the day, avoiding any cold beverages, really trying to nourish ourselves. If you can get 8 or 9 hours of sleep, better to have more sleep. The body does a lot of its healing in its sleep, a lot of its rest and recuperation. I've been now, everyone who knows me knows I have green tea usually throughout the day until 3. I'm having my green tea in the morning and moving into relaxing teas in the afternoons, and having passiflor, passion flower, and softening, relaxing teas right after dinner, so that I can hopefully help myself get into bed by 9 o'clock and get up with a lot of gusto, a lot of happiness in the morning, right? Because I think we all go to bed right now with a lot of worry for people that we know and love that may be suffering through parts of this crisis. Maybe their only suffering is they're away from loved ones, and that can also be quite a suffering. So also nourishing food, eating local, nourishing food, nothing out of the freezer, nothing as far as leftovers, not cooking for the week, cooking daily, fresh food that has prana, that has life force in it, using that life energy to share, making fresh food as long as you've got fresh food, and really taking advantage that you have some fresh food still. I'm assuming that groceries are there. Someone says, what type of yoga do you practice? Well, I don't know how to explain Babaji's methodology on yoga asana. I can tell you that pranayama, meditation, mudra, mantra, those limbs of yoga have been the most important in my life. I love to do asana. I love asana because I love to keep my body healthy. I love to be able to sit in a comfortable seat. I love to be able to move. I'll be 70 in August, and I want to stay healthy. I don't want to be decrepit and falling apart at the seams. And I feel that asana really helps me with that. There have been times where I've had a bad hip and I had to not do any asana. And those times were very miserable for me psychologically, I think, because I find it as a beautiful moving meditation. But the pranayama is always there.
the mudra, mantra. I love to chant. So someone said different than the Eastern yoga. Yes, in the fact that it is, it's just holistic. And when it came to finding out about asana itself, Babaji sent me to Ayurveda. He sent me to the Ayurvedic books because they explain what asanas are helpful for each dosha, what asanas will balance you out, what asanas can stimulate a certain vayu, one of the prans of the body. All of our breathing happens in our prana vayu. It comes in, it goes to the brain and down into the diaphragm, right? So pran is always coming in and out. So we do the nadi shodhana, the cleansing of the nadis, the balancing of the nadis to really work on that area of prana vayu. We have the 4 purifications that purify pran, purify the head, purify the belly region, purify our downward facing air. And we will try to do the 4 purifications slowly, maybe one at a time for a while. But trying to really purify the body as it gets ready for practice so that the mind and the body are ready to sit and actually receive all of the information that the practices themselves have to give us. If my mind is running rampant the whole time, and maybe it's running rampant because I had a big cup of coffee before I practiced, right? So then you have to ask yourself, is that the best thing for me to have a cup of coffee before I practice? Maybe I should have my coffee after I've had my breakfast so that you have something in your belly, right? And you aren't just putting a lot of caffeine into your body because it's drying. For women over 40, it begins to dry the bones. We know that calcium loves to get on the caffeine, right? So just trying to be mindful of how we're passing ourselves through the day. I have a wonderful friend at Mount Madonna who sometimes I'll look and see her and she's like standing there just praying for a moment, just quietly praying for a moment. And I have tried to add that to my day during this entire crisis. It's felt really important for me to be wherever I am. And when I get this little, I've just heard the news, or I've just heard this, or I've just heard that, or someone just sent me a WhatsApp with scary things, just to stop for a minute and pray. Just to ask God if I could just relax in her or his bosom for a moment and just pray. So, I see another chat. Oh, thank you. So, Ayurvedically, you know, this virus doesn't like heat. So apparently having hot is good. Having hot is really good. Having hot water throughout your day, nothing iced, nothing cold. Being sure you're getting plenty of sleep. Sleep is the key element. And for those of us who practice jala neti, just rinsing out our nasal passages in the morning, never at night because it can just stay up in there. So in the morning, first thing, a warm saline solution, just to rinse out your nasal passages and get that area completely clean. For those of us who practice nasya, the oil in our nose, it's the perfect thing before we go to bed, a couple of drops. And here, because it's dry season and so very dry, I am also practicing it in the morning. I just put a few drops of my nasya oil, but you can use any oil. You can use olive oil, sesame oil, never coconut oil, it's too cold, but a cold pressed organic oil. So you can even just put a drop or two there, get your pinky finger and do what your mama told you never to do. Pick your nose, not literally, but put your finger as far up your nose as you can get it. And then do everyone a favor and thoroughly wash your hands. But get plenty of oil in there because the virus won't stick to oil either. So trying to really decide how you can facilitate your body taking care of yourself. If you have soap, buy every single thing you have in your house, which we do here as well. Not only soap, put a bottle of oil there, not lotion, oil. And so after you've washed your hands, a drop or two of oil, Just move it in, move it around. It'll soak right in a moment, and it's an extra layer of protection. Remember, we're hydrolipid. We have lots of oil in our body. We need good oil at every meal. No saturated fats, but really, really good oil.
Kamalesh, can I ask you a question about doing nausea at the same time as you're doing Jalanetti?
Right. So
I
usually,
understood you can do them, you know, around the same time.
no, you wouldn't ever do them together. Not real nausea. Real nausea is like 10 to 12 drops in your nose. And that's the one that I personally, with all the dryness here, found better to do right now in the morning. And sometimes when I come back up, when it's not dry season, I come back up and almost all of it comes back out, or it goes down my throat and I can feel it. Now when I come back up, there's nothing there. Everything is so dry. So I'm doing nausea in the morning, right? I'm not doing neti right now because I feel clean. I don't have anything there particularly. So, but if I were to go to the city, which I'm not going, but if I were to go to the city where there's a lot of pollution, I would come home and probably, if it were still early enough in the day that I knew I had a good 6 or 7 hours for my passages to drain, I would rinse out my nasal passages.
Right.
When you're doing Jalanetti, after Jalanetti, you do want to do oiling, but it's just the finger up the nose. It's not lots of drops because the oil can close the water into a place. If you just got it and did it and went to bed, the oil that's mixing in there will go to the top, and then the water, if it has some mucus and any kind of bacterial in it, will fester. So you don't want to do the two practices fully together.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, yeah. Nice to see you, Samyukta. Okay, I haven't left you much time, but we have a few more minutes. I'm sorry, I wanted to talk about taking care. Any other questions? Anything else? So yesterday I did tape the session. It did record. I have no idea. I'm not going to look at it. This is so not about me. This is so about you. I'm not going to look at it, but I've asked my tech guy down here if he'll put it up on a web place, and then I'll tell you where it is. In case one day you can't come, I'll upload these classes so that you can at least have a class, even though it might not be, you won't feel like you're in the moment. I feel the joy of all of you people. I know that even though you're remote, I look out and the screen is full, and I just makes me, oh, so happy. So very happy. Any questions? Feel free. How's your poop? Ayurvedically, we check on everybody's poop all the time. Oh, how do we add turmeric? Great question. So first, let me tell you about your poop. Ayurvedically, we'd want you to have one nice big poop every morning, period. We'd like that. That doesn't happen for everybody all of the time, right? So first thing you want to do is make sure you're getting enough oil, good oil, not saturated fats, nothing you cooked with, raw oil. So you might put a little olive oil on the table and drizzle it on your vegetables, or put it on your rice or anything like that. You might have a little dab of coconut oil in your morning cereal, or hot cereal, no cold cereal, but in your oatmeal or your cream of wheat or whatever, a little either ghee or butter or in some kind of an oil. And also with dinner, having an oil. Often oil will do the trick, will make you go to the bathroom if you aren't having a daily bowel. A daily bowel movement is key to good health. You really need to go in and come out. And it needs to stay in there for a day. And some of us pittas that we've had periods in our life where we have 4, 5, 6 bowel movements a day. That is not good either. That means no time in the small intestine for assimilation, and not enough time in the large intestine for packing things up and shipping out the liquid how it needs to go. So if you are not having a daily bowel movement, we can recommend Triphala. Triphala is not a laxative. It's 3 fruits, amalaki, bibitaki, haritaki, in equal amounts. And you can order it from Amazon. And you can just take a capsule or 2 in the morning and a capsule or 2 at night until you get regular. And then if you feel you're not regular another day, you just take it. It's not going to have any negative effect on you. It's not a laxative. It doesn't work that way. So making sure you get a nice daily bath from it. Someone said, ask about using turmeric. So turmeric is really good to use. You can use it, because it is anti-inflammatory. And you want to make sure, I guess you've heard on the news, no ibuprofen in your household. Get rid of it for this particular disease. It's found to have a negative effect on reducing immunity. So if you have a fever, if your kids have a fever, if anybody has a fever, acetaminophen, Tylenol, right? Not ibuprofen. Okay. But meanwhile, we want turmeric every day because it's good for all of us in our inflammatory response. So you can take the powder and stir it into hot water. Put a couple of drops of oil. It only activates with oil. If you don't have any oil, if you're just drinking it and whatever, you can take it in hot milk. Milk has oil, as long as you're drinking good, whole fat, good for you milk. Whole fat, good for you milk. Okay. You're so welcome. Turmeric, you can take the raw turmeric, like here we have the root, and just scrape it, grate it. You don't even need to peel it, just grate it, put it in hot water and boil it for a little while, strain that off, put a little bit of oil. You can put some sweetener, whether it be brown sugar or jaggery or honey or any kind of sweetener that you might like. If you do dairy, I always recommend taking it with milk because milk just does the trick. It takes it more to a deeper cellular level. But a lot of us don't do dairy now, especially in this season of colds and coughs and allergy. So then water is fine, but you need a little oil. A little tiny bit of black pepper will also make it more efficient. Just a tiny bit. You don't need to like grind a ton. Like one little grind of black pepper, perfect. Okay? All right, well, I want to respect your time. And thank you so much. Is Rajiv here? Okay, I'll have to write him separately. Okay. Okay, so will you stay on? I only see one screen and you're not on the first screen. So if Rajiv, if you'll stay on with me, that would be absolutely great because I want to talk about maybe 5 minutes after tomorrow, the first 5 minutes after, having a little chanting. So we'll do 1 hour practice in the first 5 minutes, just a tiny little bit of chanting. And I want to listen to Rajiv do that for us. I want him to offer that gift if he's willing. So thank you to everyone for coming in today, for being with us today. It's so nice to see all these wonderful faces, Corlia, Samyukta, Carla, Jessica. Wow, Karen, so nice to see you at home, close by and yet on the computer. Juan Carlos too. So nice to see everybody. And Tom and Paul, so nice. This is really beautiful. Love to all of you. Have a wonderful practice and I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, Jean. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Juliet. Hey, Rajiv, are you into doing a little chanting tomorrow?
Totally. I have doubts about how all these overtones of Shruti and voice might actually be processed by Zoom.
Mm-hmm. I think if I come up and mute, I have found that it's a really good, it's really fine. As long as we're all muted, and so I'll come up and I'll come up and mute everyone, and myself included, and then you unmute and go.
And are you on a phone or a computer right now?
Computer.
Okay, so just tell me how this sounds.
Okay. Sounds pretty wonderful. Sounds great.
It's not like an overwhelming sound that makes everything get really quiet. It doesn't like mute it.
No, it's good.
Okay. And then, are you talking about the first 5 after we come out of Shavasana, or we were basically done after you've
I
said?
think we'll do it like the 5 after,
Yeah.
the first 5 after everything. Because I know for some of the people that are on there, chanting is a little foreign, and I think if we put it in practice, it might scare them. But I think if we do it after the practice, they'll be fine.
Do you
And
want?
I think most people will join. Like today, almost everyone has stayed on, thank God.
Right. And have you a mantra in mind? Because if it's post practice and they're not in Shavasana, then if people want to join, for example, Mahamrityunjay healing mantra with the Bij or without the Bij mantras before and after would be fine.
Perfect.
5. Do you know when they do it at Arati? They repeat, I think, 11 times, and I'm not sure how long that takes.
I think we should do it 5 times. I know that when I do it personally, I do it 5 times in 5 minutes, relatively slowly.
With Bij
With
mantras?
the Bij. Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. I'll do a few today and see how 5 sounds. I mean, how to stretch it to be around 5 minutes.
And even if it's not quite 5, just sitting at the end of 5 of them with your harmonium in the silence is perfect.
Yeah, I don't want to find that I'm doing something that takes 8 because I didn't check.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's great. It sounded really good. Yeah.
Okay, and the last question is the voice harmonium mix, because I'm just using my laptop. I have no idea. Om Haum Jun Saha Om Bhurva Swaha. You hear both?
It went out for a second. Do it one more time.
Om Haum Jun Saha Om Bhurva Swaha Om.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to do only the chord at the very beginning, because if you keep
what if I put it behind me?
Try it.
Probably no change. Om Bhurva Swaha Om Triyambakam. Like, too loud, really. You're right. Probably only at the beginning.
Yeah, probably just do a little bit of droning for maybe 30 seconds and then start and do 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Perfect. So we'll do that right at 9 tomorrow.
Samarsh. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. How's Paris? Is it all locked down?
Yeah, we now have these attestations to fill out to exit our building, to show to the authorities our papers.
Wow.
For going specifically where we're going, and it's like an affidavit, basically a self-generated affidavit, dated and signed.
Wow.
And theoretically, they can give you a fine of 150 euros and bring you to jail if you don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, actually, I think we're just waiting to see if we get as bad as Italy or not.
Well, I think here it's gonna get worse before it gets better, because a lot of the people just didn't believe it, and
Right.
they didn't close their businesses, and they didn't stop their workers, and so now they've had their workers come, and so now there's no public transportation. So instead of the bus with a ton of people on it, people are piled into pickup trucks.
Right.
It is so not good, but we'll see where this goes over the next day or two. Yeah. The president talked again last night and tried to make it clearer, but we deal with the people. We have 14 languages, and all 14 languages had the message, but and the indigenous people are not used to paying attention to government messages first, because they've never been anything they could rely on in the past.
Yeah.
It's been a real challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, enough politics. That's not why I'm doing this. Love you. Thank you so much.